Today's project is to rip off the roof on this old building. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, welcome back to another episode here at Salvage Workshop. So, this is part 2 of the cave rebuild, also known as the Salvage Cave. If you haven't already seen part 1, the link is in the description. It's absolutely worth watching. Go check it out. It'll give you a little bit more detail in regards to what has happened on this project so far and where we're headed. So, let's talk about this building. First off, a lot of people seem to believe that we should just demolish this building with a bulldozer and put up a brand new one. But you have to understand a little backstory here. The initial plan was a roof replacement. And the roof, because it was so bad, and the water leaked in so many different places, it led to a lot of other issues that we didn't know about until you really start tearing into an old building like this. So hindsight being 2020, would I demolish the building and put up a brand new one? Honestly, no. And I will show you why throughout this series. This building is not beyond repair. Yes, we've had some setbacks, like that back wall falling over. But at the end of the day, a setback doesn't mean that we should get a bulldozer out and plow it all down. The cost is massive compared to what we can still save from this building. And so, what you need to understand is that as this project went on, the scope got larger and larger. And that's very common in a building like this. And we were prepared for some of that, and some of it we weren't prepared for in regards to where and how large this project was going to get. So, you're going to see how it snowballed into what it is, but you're also going to see how we salvaged this building, how we saved the bones and made it strong. So as much as it would be easy to sit back on your couch, or my couch, and say, bulldoze the building and put up a metal pole barn, yeah, I get it, I really do, but in the thick of things, the plan was to replace the roof, and then the wall fell over, and here we go. Here's how we saved the building. All right, day 2. We got most of the front torn off. The inside, we got all the way across the front taken off. And then back here, you saw that wall come down. And then along the back, we got another row all taken off. All the way to the other side, to that wall. And so the plan is to leave this center section. We'll just drop these panels straight down and take them out to a dumpster that way. So back here we got quite a bit of the dumpster loaded already.
One more. Here we go.
almost need to go in a little bit and then bring it up. So this morning, we're gonna slush the blocks with a real thick mortar. Let's jump into that back wall falling over. It absolutely did show a major issue with that building. I don't know why that wall was built wood and wasn't originally block. Maybe it was originally block. I really don't know how old this building is. But whoever installed it, it was done as a remodel. They had basically added that wall, probably while the rest of the structure was up. And it's easy to judge, oh man, that's not right, couldn't have been done right. But when you have a solid building and you put up a wall, there's a lot less issues of the whole building falling over. In our situation, we ripped the roof off. Well, that exposed that back wall wasn't attached as well as it could have been. So it fell over. Now, the plan for making this building stronger is to strengthen the block. So what we did was we decided to hire a pump truck. Basically, it's a massive concrete pump. The concrete truck backs up to it, dumps mortar into it, and then it literally pumps it out this huge long hose that's remote controlled by an operator, and then he has control over how fast and when it pumps. So as you'll see, we're literally going to slush the entire wall, every single concrete block wall that's still standing, full of slush concrete. It is a lot wetter than actual thick concrete. It doesn't have much aggregate in it, and so it does fall through the block a heck of a lot easier. The other thing that we did, and I didn't get a lot of this on camera, but we filled every single hole with rebar. We added strength in places and ways that it never had before. Now, one thing you need to understand about a block wall is its load that it's carrying and that it's strong is horizontal. It is made to carry things this way, not sideways. And so one of the reasons that back wall fell over is it had a massive load coming from that big piece of roof pushing against it toward the back of the building, and then it folded out and basically fell over as if there was nothing holding the wall in. And so it was never built or designed to be able to handle that kind of situation, nor is pretty much any block wall. And so, especially ones that aren't slushed full. So as you'll see, we're slushing the entire block wall so that we have a better foundation to build the new roof upon. So that'll be our trough. It'll sit over the blocks so that when we have the hose, we'll just move it along and the slurry will get pushed down into the blocks. Concrete truck dumps into the pump truck. Pump truck comes up over, big arm, dumps along the walls, across the walls, and all the way in. Into our trough all the way around.
Ladder as much. We're going to be covered.
Got the plywood here. Got a lot of the other lumber we'll need. So last night, to keep the blocks from freezing, because we just finished slushing all the walls, we got these tarps, kind of laid them across both sides. We didn't want the concrete to freeze inside the blocks. And so all the block walls have anchors in them. Inside we've had heaters running so that all the mortar and concrete in the blocks doesn't get cold and freeze. Poured a little concrete pad right here we're gonna raise this step up. All right, we're here at the back of the building. This was where the man door was, and we are gonna replace it, but we're gonna raise the block up, one block to this level. So I poured this small concrete little footer there, and the reason is because back there it floods in from there, coming in and we want to try and stop the water and dirt from coming under the doorway. So we're raising it up a block, and we're less worried about the trip hazard because this is not a high traffic door. So that should prevent a shallow flood from keeping, from water and stuff washing into the shop floor. All right, I'm adding a step. Why am I adding that block? To keep water in, like I mentioned. Here's the thing about this building and the location that it's in. Right next to the building, there's a creek. It's basically a runoff creek, and a lot of other buildings and houses and, feed down into it, and then it feeds a larger creek a little further downstream that eventually feeds a river. So, the small creek that's right next to the shop has completely flooded. Now, there's been times, I think it's like 3 or 4 times in the last 20 or 30 years, that the cave, the shop that we're rebuilding, has been underwater. Various heights of water, anywhere from a couple of inches to literally 53 inches off the ground, which is mind-blowing. And so, the plan by adding that one little step is a lot of times when they'd have a real shallow flood, a lot of dirt and water would rush into the shop from the back of the building and right in, make a huge mess. And so what we're trying to do is make it so that that's less likely to happen. Plus, what we can do is we can raise the back grade eventually out there so that water has to come up even higher to get into the building. Now, is that going to solve a big flood? Absolutely not. Because what happens is, as the small creek raises, the water, if we get a lot of rain all at once, the small creek fills up quickly, and there's a train bridge that has an opening that's only a very specific amount. I think it's like 12 feet. And the other big creek sometimes fills up past the height of that. And if that happens, it backfeeds the creek, fills up over the road, up over the parking lot, and on into the building. And I will show you and talk to you more about that later. I've got some clips of literally canoeing through this shop, no joke, 50 inches, some above the ground, in a canoe going through. It's amazing. And so my use for this shop is absolutely not going to be moving my machine shop down there. The big heavy machine tools that need to stay dry and not ever get near a flood are not going down there. We're going to use this building completely differently for the channel, and we'll get into more of that later, but I kind of wanted you to understand that the only reason we're adding that little step is to try and prevent some water from coming in on a shallow flood, or if the rainwaters get a little bit higher and, kind of keep some of it out if we can do that. So that's why we're adding it. We would go higher with it, but we also don't want to make it difficult to use. We want it to be a usable door on the back. So that's kind of the thought process here. So I'll show you how to add a simple step onto the back of a concrete building. So right now I'm going to finish this. We're going to put some rebar in it and get ready to put the block down. I'm going to reuse these blocks, so I'm going to chip off all the mortar so we can have it flush.
Just like Legos, only bigger?
Yep. And they don't pop together as easy. Alright, so with mortar, if you're mixing it by hand, I use these plastic trays. You don't want all of it. This is a mortar mixing trowel. It has the holes so it can mix through. What you're looking for is you're looking for peanut butter. Consistency, kind of thick for laying block anyway. There's lots and lots of ways to mix mortar. You want to scrape all the way down to the tray, and in the corners, get all the dried stuff out. And you want to mix it side to side so you get consistent. Just a little wet. There we go. So what you want is you want the ability for it to sit up in rows like this. So when you put the block on, it has some sort of rigidity, but it still squishes down. So, about like peanut butter-ish. If you're working on a hot day, you might mix it a little bit more wet. On a cold day, a little bit more dry. All right, so this hole needs some fill, so we're going to use some mortar here. We mixed it a little bit wet. while we let the mortar set up in those blocks and get hard, we're going to turn our attention to the front of the building now. And it is pretty much all wood, and there's no block at all. So until we tore off the front of the building and really got into kind of exposing the structure that's left holding this building up, we really didn't know how bad it was. And we had no intention of replacing headers or posts or reframing garage doors. But as we tore into it, we realized that there was almost no way that we could continue and safely put a roof, especially the size of roof we're putting on this building, which is not the same as what was there. We're going to change it up a lot, which is going to add a lot of weight, and not to mention the beams were rotted, the posts were pretty much gone. About all that was good was the foundation that these posts were sitting on. So we're going to jump right into that. We're not going to get into tearing off the garage doors yet. We're just going to get the headers up and kind of get ready for the non-garage door portions while we let the concrete set up. And right now we're working on getting this header off the front of the garage doors / the front of the house, so we can start getting ready for putting the new header up on front. There's more block along the back wall, so we're gonna wait on that, let that harden up some more. All right, well, we got the front ready to start tearing off.
Every time we crossed down below where it was underwater, it's like dissolved, but not clear.
All right, so one thing to note, this building has been underwater a number of times, and as you can see here, the insulation right here got wet and basically just compressed. And it compressed into this little brick. Probably increased the R value down there. So the headers that we're putting up right now are engineered laminated beams that are designed to take massive loads and be able to handle pretty incredible widths. The headers we're putting up are above the ones for the garage doors now, currently. So it doesn't really matter though, as long as we get them at the height of the sidewalls, we'll match that height on the back wall when we get it built up so that we have a level front and back so that the new trusses that are going to be put on are put on level across the building. And this building is all kinds of out of square, all kinds of not level. So a lot of what we're doing is basically fixing some of the issues that have developed and that have happened. Maybe they were original to it. I doubt it. It probably just throughout the years kind of just started to crumble and fall apart. So we are making it safe, usable, and strong is the big plan.
up right here if you want.
Anything in the way?
Yeah, there's something right.
Beautiful. Alright, we'll get with you here in a minute. Thank you.
Scott? Scott,
Where you at?
circular saw from inside, please.
Okay.
I just need to trim a little out of this. Alright. You can nail yours up.
You got that saw? That's what he's looking at over there. I think that's a problem. I mean, I don't know. Hopefully she doesn't start falling out that long. I mean, I might even have it in that section. Would have that good or bad. I've never thought of that before. People are like, oh, the garage is over here. What makes that? Okay, yeah. Right, I mean, clearly we haven't had any side of it.
Around a little bit.
Good?
That way we go exactly with the rest. Have you owned it for a long time? No, I haven't.
Yeah. The last few years it got bad quick. No, not bad. So good. That was my original idea, was bulldoze the
Yeah,
whole
just
thing,
start
putting up a
fresh.
big ass pole barn.
No can do, huh?
They acted like, now you can't build here.
Put the pole barn on the
That
outside.
thing's great.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Better insulation.
Is it? You know, accidentally alone.
Keep the water out.
How to install?
Cut everything and throw it up.
What it sounds like.
yeah, considering you got 15-inch wide, you've got 24-inch wide holes.
Whoa. Yeah.
Did you eat food today, or you just went out of
Hey Scott, garage door guys here.
Beautiful.
Come on, show us how house fires start. There's enough coals. It was going pretty good earlier. watch that corner. Stop right there. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this part 2 on rebuilding this old building. So next up, we're going to basically be rebuilding that back wall that fell over. We're going to get to basically getting everything set up and ready for the trusses. We're going to rip the front off, get the garage doors installed, get the 4th garage door bay ready for garage door there, and basically getting ready for the roof. And so stick around if you've enjoyed this. I really appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you like this kind of video? Are you enjoying the construction process or the deconstruction process? I mean, do you like all the problems that we run into? Because trust me, this is not easy. I personally enjoy this kind of project. I like the challenges. I like the danger, maybe. A lot of people might think this is dangerous. Everything that we've done throughout this project has been to eliminate as much danger as possible. There are always calculated risks when it comes to working in any kind of situation or environment where you don't know all the variables. And this is one of those situations. When you deconstruct a building that's been rotting for so long, you never know what you're going to have to deal with, especially when you tear that board off. But you overcome, you adapt, you figure out ways to safely handle the issues. And throughout this entire project, not a single person got hurt. I just want you to know that. You may think you see stuff that's dangerous or that, somebody could get hurt. Nobody got hurt. So, stick around if you've enjoyed it. If you haven't already, let me know in the comments what you think of everything. Subscribe if you're interested, and I look forward to seeing you guys on part 3. Come here. Oh, hi, Matt. Oh, hi, Scout. Oh, hi, Bowden. Oh, boy. Oh, hi. Oh, hi. Oh, hi. I know a lot of you guys, have been missing my wimes. They're still very much a part of, my life. This is only a few of them. Hi. Hi. Yeah. Yeah. Hi, Mav. This is Maverick. He's gotten quite big. You're a good boy. And that was Bowden and Scout. Bowden is the silver one, the bigger one, and Scout is the blue one. We'll go out back here with the Bowden and Scout and Mav. Hi, guys. So this is part of the dog run that we built quite a few years ago, where they basically have an acre of our property completely fenced in, and basically gives them a woods area to roam around in, to run around, get all kinds of tired and worn out, but allows them to be safely watched and taken care of. So come on, Mav. Oh, I got a tree fell over here. At least part of one. That's new. Fun. Have to get that down. But I really need to come in here, and every year or two, maybe like 2 or 3 years, I have to completely come in and just level the ground so that you can see where the dogs are at. It gives them more area to run. Otherwise, they use these paths that they've kind of beat into the ground just from running around on it. But if you don't know much about Weimaraners, they are very, very high energy, very, very active dogs that love their owners. All they really want to do is be right there with you. I could take them off leash just about anywhere other than maybe a crowded street corner, and they would follow me everywhere. Now, if you train a Weim right, you could take them to a crowded street corner and they'll stand right next to you the whole time. Mine wouldn't do that in a crowded street corner because I never trained them to be that close to me. when we go on walks out in the woods, they can run a couple 100 yards away from me, just a big circle around, and that's totally fine with me. Gets them all worn out, but every time I call them, come on, go. They go exactly where I want. I love these dogs. Come here. Hi, Scout. So Scout is blue. That's the blue color. And Maverick and Bowden are silver. All right, buddy? You're a good boy. Come here, Scout. Oh, hi. I know. Come here. Good boy, Bowden. Bowden's a tank. We imported Bowden from the Czech Republic. So he is our beautiful German, true German bloodline dog that we imported from the Czech Republic, and we love the heck out of him. So, as always, I hope you've enjoyed the project here at Salvage Workshop. Got a lot more to come. You guys have a great one.